We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Voter fraud. We have put together voter fraud. We have put together voter fraud, the most extensive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, everyone. I'm John, your host. We got Uman behind the scenes as the Blue Wrench, the moderator, the taker of questions. And it is the Friday free-for-all. We've had one hell of a week, folks. And boy, you could take that to the bank. The politicization of everything continues. And the absolute hypocrisy and abandonment of morality by the Democrats and the Rhino Republicans is off the charts. The illegal, unconstitutional, un-American shit that's happening is pissing me off. But of course, I'm good-natured, non-violent. You know, I'm not a transgender salad shooting, salad tossing fruitcake. So you won't catch me getting violent unless I need to defend others, including the police, from violent protesters. And I'm waiting for them to dare to get violent here in Florida. Go ahead, guys. We're all waiting for you. All right. I want to let you guys know right off the bat, you are making a difference. You are. And I want to give you an example of how you are making a difference by writing, calling, faxing, texting, carrier pigeon, snail mail, note tied to a safe arrow and shot in the general direction of government. In the state of Georgia, one of the stolen, absolutely proven to have been stolen states. Oh, the information coming out today has been damning. In Congress, they now have evidence that the 2020 election and 2021 certification were fraudulent. Absolutely fraudulent. In fact, Congress, by certifying that, as far as I'm concerned, committed an act of treason. And anyone involved in the treason of January 6th should be arrested. And I'm not talking about protesters. I'm talking about the government elected officials inside the Capitol who were in there performing a coup against the Constitution, you and me, the American people, and even against President Trump. I put us, the people, ahead of Trump because we are more important than Trump. Trump is merely a representative of the people who was, well, the subject of the fraud, along with you and I and our nation. Now, in Georgia, what have you done? You, along with many others, have been contributing to the pressure put on government to fix the problems. The Georgia State Election Board has passed a rule. There is going to be required at the precinct level a hand count of ballots to match them with what the computers say. Keep calling, folks. Keep demanding legal, lawful elections and volunteer at your local precinct. It is going to be a shit show. And the fraud that they're committing, folks, is unbelievable if they get away with it. If they get away with it. I want to know what you're interested in talking about. What do you want to say? What do you have on your mind? Woo! We got a lot to cover. Mr. Uman, do we have someone that wants to step up right away? Who wants to be first on the show? Who's got a comment? And Uman himself. He says, saw an awful story this morning, AM. 6 firefighters fighting the wildfires of Orange County, California, were critically injured and 2 others injured when the vehicle flipped over after hitting a ladder in the road. Well, let's hear it for California. California was once probably, in my opinion, the most wealthy state, the most powerful state, the most productive state. Do you know that 25 years ago, the state of California was ranked either 6th or 7th as an economy in the whole world? It used to be very productive. Some heavy industry, a lot of light industry, a lot of trade, a ton of agriculture. And 40 years ago, it was a timber powerhouse. Now they've got ladders in the road. People use the highways as dumps. The homeless use the highways, the off-ramps, the on-ramps. They use city streets as bathrooms, as basically toilets. They shit everywhere. It is a disgusting, filthy state. It's a sanctuary state. And I want to take that one step further, please. It's a sanctuary state, right? Meaning they allowed illegals into their state. They harbored illegals from other states and wouldn't let them be deported or arrested. Arrested. What's that thing when you go from one jurisdiction to another? Extradition. No, we're not going to extradite our criminals. They're protected here. Well, I think that's funny. Don't you think that if anyone outside the state of California is generating dangerous memes that California has ruled illegal, I don't think any other state should recognize California, and they should become meme sanctuaries. Don't you think so? I think so. Meme sanctuaries are a great idea. Now, we know the elections, the cheat is going to happen if they can. They're going to try it. They're going to try it, folks. They really will. Don't worry. The cheat is on. But the Democrats used to be the party for the working people, the downtrodden, those who just need a little assistance in a hand. Well, not anymore, right? A nasty, filthy, creepy Democrat professor has mocked Republican Representative Nancy Mace. She is an actual woman born with a vagina, developed breasts, dresses like a woman, acts like a woman, Nancy Mace. Duly elected. And what does he have to say after she exposes him and his unwanted sexual advances? Oh, by the way, Nancy Mace also appeared in Congress and described what it's like to be a rape victim. Anyways, this guy, Dyson, right? What did he do? He mocked Nancy's white tears, because she exposed his sexual advances. So instead of women believing her, Democrats should believe her. She's a woman. Aren't they about feminism and feminist and women's rights and women's protections and women need to be protected from, sexual harassment, sexual advancement, sexual this, sexual that? Not anymore, folks. Fuck it. Now it's about race and fuck you. Everything is politicized. Remember that. Everything is politicized, including your guns, including your rights. Your rights don't matter. Don't worry, folks. They want to come after your rights, your First Amendment rights. They don't matter because you're not part of the right protected group. Your Second Amendment rights, they don't matter. You're not part of the correct political group. Your Fourth and Fifth Amendment, illegal search and seizure, entering your property, stealing your property, no crime committed, no due process. Don't worry. Your rights don't matter. They don't exist. In a politicized environment where the only way you are protected is if you belong to the correct political party, the correct tribe, the correct gang, the correct set of criminals. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go there. I will go there. Fuck everyone out there who wants to take my rights and your rights. The time is going to come, folks. For now, write, call, fax, email, snail mail, carrier pigeon, smoke signals, but only if you're Native American. And of course, tying a letter to a safety-tipped arrow and shooting it in the general direction of government. Keep fighting them legally. The lawful battle will come. The lawful war will come. Will you fight in it? Will you ignore it? Will you understand it? That's what being a prepper is. Understanding what is going on so you can be prepared here and with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense. Now, I continue to hear, folks, economists, financiers, investors, hedge fund managers, smart guys talking about how to protect your wealth and how to get prepared the same way you and I talk about it. I listened to it yet again today. Some egg-headed economists talking about, well, you better make sure you have food and water because, things could get bad and crazy. Folks, the super rich are buying what? Bunkers, estates way out in the middle of nowhere, burying a bunker, putting a fence up, security systems. And then the super rich are getting places in Australia, New Zealand, and other areas where they can buy up land real cheap and protect themselves in the event of a psychotic, crazy, Mad Max type of world developing. And who's pushing that world? The Democrats, the rhino Republicans who want World War III, the super rich bastards in the banking system, the mega corporate owners, the CEOs who want to rule the world by stealing it from us. All right, Mr. Uman, let us continue if we shall. And folks, when I pick on the rich, I'm not talking about your local millionaire knucklehead, well, unless he loves Kamala, but the super duper uber rich, the Bill Gateses of the world. Now, down to name redacted. And he says, just a rant vent sign of the times. I'm dealing with a secondary infection from the kidney stone. The urologist tried to blame, wait for it, cerveza bug COVID. Oh, I didn't know that kidney stones came from COVID. I thought they come from, life. But I'm sure the urologist tried to say it was COVID, which means I guess you need the Jim Jones juice. That's right. You need the Jim Jones juice. Oh, yeah. Walgreens is running commercials to get your cerveza bug and flu shots. And they're offering a schedule. They're offering to schedule your VAXs in their app. Saw a line in CVS of people getting self-terminated. All right, I've got some commentary, if you will. In Japan, they are now televising government medical discussions. I don't speak Japanese really well, right? Dobo arigato, right? Don't speak Japanese too well, but, I think what they said is if you get 2 or more, sayonara, right? It is deadly. Cancers, accelerated, rapid, super cancers, diabetes, heart problems, lung problems, neurological problems, brain problems. Self-terminated, I think, is a very interesting way to describe it, Mr. Redacted. And who's lining up for it? Unfortunately, uninformed elderly who don't know better. Because the pharmacists keep telling them it's fine. Don't worry, the pharmacists get their money. They get their kickback from Uncle Biden and Auntie Kamala. Right? And then the doctors, once you get sick and go to the hospital, they make a shit ton of money off of you. Funny, pharmacies have been around, pharmaceutical companies, 120, 130 years? and they haven't cured a single disease. I think all they do is treat the symptoms and, of course, create the Jim Jones juice type products. And they push them and they push them and they push them and they push them. In fact, I think it was RFK Jr. ended up suing Dr. Doom, Mr. Fauci, saying we want to see the tests proving their safety for all of these different VAXs. And I believe the response was, well, I don't have any tests proving their safety. Kind of a big whoops-a-daisy. Hopefully the codified language I've been speaking doesn't get this video removed for being, well, misinformation. Apparently me having an opinion and sharing what doctors, pharmacists, and other nations have determined to be the fact, including in my home state, the state of Florida. It's now my home state. The Surgeon General of Florida says, don't take that shit. Don't do it. Don't do it. Right? I can't quote someone in government, medicine, the bureaucracy. Well, not if they're on my side and your side. I'm only allowed to quote scumbags who want us dead. All right. Thank you, name redacted. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Yes, I do appreciate it. And I've got this great story for you here. Everyone knows who Harriet Hageman is, right? Anyone? She replaced Republican. That's right. Republican Liz Piggy Cheney. She burned her in the election after Liz Piggy, a so-called Republican, decided she was going to attack Trump and all of us and accuse us of being, racist, insurrectionists, supporters of blah, 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 trying to destroy democracy, right? Liz Piggy wanted to be the head of that. Well, she got removed. Basically, it was her state, I believe, Wyoming, saying, you know what? That's not what Republicans do. They don't make up shit, hide evidence, destroy evidence, modify evidence to try and make a fake case, which should be a crime. It needs to be investigated and criminally prosecuted. Yeah, Harriet Hageman destroyed Liz Piggy. And now she has put communist trolls that were in Washington, D.C. in their trollish place. She trolled them back. They said a couple of stupid shit, and this is what a strong leader will do. Give them a taste of their own medicine. She asked the communist, probably Palestinian supporters as well. She asked them, are you wearing your beepers? Oh, I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have been there. Oh, by the way, I am going to start doing my advanced chin musicking. I now have this, and I never thought ever I would wear a hat like this, just because, I used to consider it just lowbrow support. But I think I've come to learn that wearing any MAGA or Trump hat is a way to show people to not be afraid. I haven't really worn baseball hats. I mean, since I was a little leaguer, right? I was in Little League. In fact, I've got those pictures here around the old, nope, they're down in the bunker. Anyways, folks, what do you think of me wearing this hat in public intentionally to try and trigger people and then let other people who want to support? I wonder how many Americans, if they see this on my head, would say, hey, nice hat. How many do you think would say that? Tell you what, I'll go out into public tonight. I'll double check and make sure my local constituents like this sort of thing. Anyways, I wonder if anyone would say anything. What do you think? Oh man, what do you think? I'm not a baseball hat wearing guy. In fact, I think my head looks kind of fat underneath it. Would you care to come online, or are you feeling appropriately groomed today? Oh, there you are. Hey, my friend.
Flatten out the brim a little bit. It'll make your head look less funny.
Fat this way?
Yeah.
Well, see, when I was in Little League, we'd take a baseball, put it inside the bill, get it wet, so the cardboard inside's wet, wrap it in a rubber band so it dried, and that was the cool shit back in 1982 and 3.
Yeah,
Not
we're
cool anymore, but
we're all a lot smaller and skinnier back then. If you bend it flat,
I can't do that flat brim shit. That's just fucking that's hood stuff, man. I'm not one of the brothers. You know, I mean, isn't that misappropriating their culture? You know, if I try being too cool when I'm 54, I mean, when they first started doing that and leaving the little silver sticker and shit on them, I'm like, dude, you got a sticker on your hat. You look stupid. Yeah. They're like, no, John, you're old and this is now cool. Unfortunately, this didn't come with a silver fucking sticker. You know, it's pretty funny. You know, today I walked up to my group of Mexicans and Central American legal immigrants who are paying taxes and working very hard in the sun. And they had some questions. Said, don't worry, everyone calm down. You know, the Diablo Blanco is on the side, you know, on the scene. And they always love that shit. You know, they know who I am. They know I'm the white devil. Anyways, should I? What do the comments say? I should wear it in public? Should I wear a Marine Corps shirt with it? And fucking
everybody's saying go for it.
Okay, and I'll report back Sunday Night Live. You guys have to come back for Sunday Night Live. I'll wear this, provided it's funny and appropriate, and maybe I'll wear one of my Marine Corps shirts. I've got a number.
I'm gonna say in Florida, you're probably gonna get a 90-10 positive response.
I know the what do you call it? The voter percentages. It's like a 55-45 in my district. There's a lot of fucking communists here. There's a lot of those communist bastards.
It'll be interesting. It seems like a lot of commies have converted lately.
Yeah. You know what I think? I think they're fucking hiding. I think they're ashamed of themselves and they're fucking hiding.
Yeah.
They'll go into hiding again. If Trump wins and, you know, they'll all I don't know. I fucking hate them. They're cowards.
Yeah.
And there's a communist that pulled a gun on my son.
Oh, really?
Yep. And I just fucking lost my drink on myself. Yep. A couple
Drinking
years ago,
a
communist pulled a gun on my son. They're fucking weak and cowards, folks. I've had it with them. I'm spitting mad at them. Anyway, sorry that slipped out.
You're spitting mad. Your drink all over your shirt, mad at them.
I totally am, dude. I'll let them have it. Anyways, I want to give them the Harriet Hageman treatment today. Anyone says anything, I can say, hey, why don't you check your beeper? It's going to go off. Ask him, hey, you got one of them Hezbollah phones? Better be careful, motherfucker. I think that'd be funny. Yeah. Anyways, trigger your local Democrat. They really like it. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Ooman. Yeah, I love it when he comes on because, you know, he brings out the best in me. And also, he's very good at, you know, discussing both sides of a topic, you know. Anyways, yeah. Today, Senator Hawley, a Republican in the U.S. Senate, has another whistleblower statement. Bum, bum, bum. Do you think people in the bureaucracy in Washington, D.C. are getting sick and tired of the Kamala communist shit? I think they are. I think they're tired of the Barack communist shit. Yes, they are. They are. And so we got another whistleblower, another Secret Service whistleblower. Anyways, this one said that usually agents are stationed in high-risk areas, right? But during Trump's assassination attempt at the golf course, No one was there. Right? Now, what we do know is this area of the fence was considered a high-risk area where the doofus in question was hiding for 12 hours in the bushes. That particular area was not a unknown area. It was well known that media would go hang out there because it has an unobstructed view of the golf course and players and celebrities who go there. Very true. No one was stationed there. No one. No one was around there. No one. Surprise? Once again, it appears the Secret Service intentionally did not do their job. So I ask the question, who was it that saw the gun barrel poking through the fence? Was it Secret Service or was it private security? And if it was Secret Service, is this or is this not evidence? No matter whether you call it really good evidence or just, so-so evidence. Well, the guys that are surrounding Trump don't want to be shot at. They don't want to have to dive in front of the president to take a bullet, but they will. But the higher ups, the people making decisions and choices, saying, okay, this is how you run things, they seem to keep missing elevated buildings with a straight shot at the president. They seem to be missing this whole, hey, people can get to the golf course and observe the president from a distance, not outside a firing range. They just, surprise, I'm not. I really am not. I really am not. Okay, let's continue. It is the Friday free-for-all, so we're going to shotgun it back and forth. Me, you. Let's see what you guys want to talk about next. This has been one hell of a week full of crazy shit. And Nancy says, go for it, John. Go for it. And Heidi says, awesome. I have gotten a few comments, all thumbs up. And I think, is Heidi saying that she wore a hat? Name redacted. He says the prepared mind supports Big Orange with a swoop of hair. Caricature shirt is in order. Yeah, if I put on a big giant orange comb over and some orange makeup on my face and started using the, hey, welcome. I cannot do a Trump. I can't do it. I should practice, but I can't do it. I am a freedom supporter. I am a Constitution supporter. I am all American supporter. Culture, laws, history. This is who we are. I don't need to lie about it. I don't need to excuse it. Yes, killing Native Americans was very wrong of Washington, D.C. Oh, you bet it was. The very first attempt at gun confiscation by the federal government was done against American natives, American Indians. Did you know that? Did you know that they said, hey, you guys need to turn your guns in? And most of them did. And then the federal government came in with the military, mind you, and slaughtered almost 300 Native Americans. Yep. That was not a very nice thing to do, was it, government? Was it Washington, D.C.? And guess what? 2/3 of those nearly 300 natives were women and children. Sounds a lot like Ruby Ridge. Sounds a lot like Waco. Sounds a lot like Oklahoma City bombing, where women and children in a daycare center were destroyed downstairs because upstairs they needed to blow up the building to destroy the evidence against Hillary Clinton and the investigations that were ongoing. Oh, yeah. How interesting is that? Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. That's where the records were all being stored, in the federal building. That's right. It was a federal building that was targeted, that came down. An air blast managed to destroy 3-foot by 3-foot concrete, steel reinforced vertical columns. No problem. Air. air. General Ben Parton, explosives expert, U.S. military, retired, ripped apart the case against Oklahoma City bombing. Bullshit. Yep, government, folks. 9/11, enough said. All right, enough of my shit. Let's continue with this. How about if we go away from my crazy, wacko conspiracy theories that are backed up by science, evidence, intelligent people like architects and engineers for 9/11 truth? How about airline pilots for 9/11 truth? No, we don't want to listen to people with college educations and degrees. We need to listen to bureaucrats. The same types of bureaucrats like Senator Arlen Specter, who was an elected official. Oh, much more trustable than a bureaucrat even, came up with the magic bullet theory. Magic bullet theory. A bullet that takes multiple seconds, makes incredible multiple hits, defies physics, logic, common sense, and can end up hitting 7 different targets and then being perfectly shaped. Government. So yeah, let's get away from John and his crazy conspiracy theories that involve real science and go over to the legendary Tony Dungy, who was an NFL coach and player. And he's called out Camel Toes Harris and her comments about abortion. She said something about, well, faith. You don't have to give up your faith to support abortion. So Tony Dungy says, what faith are you talking about when you defend abortion? That's a great question, don't you think? I think he's got quite a good question there. What faith are you talking about when you defend abortion? I want to know if Kamala Ho is going to admit her faith is in Satanism, right? Which is a faith and belief that evil is just fine. You can do whatever you want as long as, well, you do whatever you want. Anyways, more and more. And by the way, I think Tony Dungy might be black. He's definitely a person of color, even though that was never part of his coaching and playing in the NFL. I used to watch, Tony Dungy's work. He did great. He was a great coach before the woke shit. And since then, I don't watch sports. Fuck the NFL. This is fun. We're halfway through the show already. It's the Friday free-for-all. What do you want to talk about? Get it down below if you've got some explosively powerful opinions. I'm sure Uman will put you right here on the screen, like David Hastings, who's back. He says, John, do you think the left will throw Section 3 of the 14th Amendment at Trump out of desperation? I call bullshit. I do too. Claiming he was part of an insurrection and therefore disqualified from holding office. Well, he's never been charged with insurrection. There's no evidence that there was an insurrection. It was a protest that became violent, not nearly as violent as the protesters who were burning, looting, and murdering in 2017 when Trump became president and was being inaugurated. These protesters were, middle-aged men and women and some Antifa people. And folks, the January 6th Republican protesters were pointing at the Antifa, calling them Antifa, putting them down, telling them to stop being violent. And the police allowed them. And then the police attacked. And then they wanted to call it an insurrection. Nancy Pelosi has taken credit for doing nothing about it. The evidence came out and is continuing to come out that Trump called for the National Guard, that it was denied by Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi's own daughter has released information implicating her in leaving the Capitol wide open. Why? So they could have a fake insurrection and attack Trump. So that when we get to 2024, right where we're at, they can pretend like he's in violation of the 14th Amendment, which prohibits insurrectionists from holding high political office. They can pull that shit. They can throw it all they want, David. They can make up bullshit, but I think America has had enough of their fucking bullshit. If there was an insurrection, they would have charged him with it. They did not. They charged him with bullshit questioning an election. Political speech, and all speech is protected. And claiming an election is invalid. That's completely allowed by law. In fact, there are statutes on all the states and at the federal level talking about how to challenge an election, how to challenge the election results. If you can't challenge the election results, then I am going to go to the state capitol with 1 bazillion votes and demand they be counted and added. And since you can't challenge me, you can't call it fraud. Those bazillion votes have to count. So I think all of us in all 50 states need to show up with a bazillion ballots for Trump. Hell, what do you mean? What do you mean we can't have more votes than actual registered voters? In several districts in several states, that's exactly what happened. They had more votes counted than there are registered voters. And most registered voter counts include the dead. People who have fucking died. People who have illegally, unlawfully, criminally registered their pets. I call bullshit too, David. Fuck them. We're going to get nasty, folks, in response to what they're trying to do to our country. Now, I want to share some more good news with you. Thank you very much, Mr. Hastings. I got some more good news for you. Apparently, Hezbollah has an injury and death toll that's, well, they're claiming it's real. A leaked Hezbollah intelligence document has made its way into the public. Apparently, they are very upset that they have been tricked. And these are their figures according to this supposed leaked document that has made it into the mainstream news feed. 879 Hezbollah terrorists dead. 291 senior commanders dead. 509 Hezbollah idiots blinded. 1,735 Hezbollah terrorists injured in their reproductive organs. Had their balls and their dicks blown off. And 613 permanent function damage. I don't know what the hell that means. Must be some kind of Jihad Joe thing. That's a lot of people got fucked up. And then Israel has decided to use big bombs on Hezbollah in Beirut, Lebanon. Now, I'm not in charge of Israel, nor the United States, nor any terrorist organization. I am merely a spectator watching what's going on. And I also see Hezbollah launching rockets by the hundreds and by the thousands indiscriminately into Israel. So I don't want to hear a fucking word from the terrorists complaining, that's not fair, that's not nice. And women and children have been injured too, as they hide behind the skirts of women and behind the small stature of children. Yeah, I don't have any love for any of these fucking people. They've never gotten along. They can't get along. They victimize themselves. They victimize each other. And then they go around the world and continue the same fucking thing. In Europe, they're victimizing everyone they can. They're victimizing each other. In America, they're doing it now too. Canada, you bet. Australia, of course. Everywhere around the world, Jihad Joe and idiots victimize other people. Because that's who they are. They're pieces of shit. Fuck. All right, is it my turn, Uman, or is it yours? I can't read. No, I just did mine. I did mine. It is now your turn. Mr. Uman, who's next? And it's Uman himself. And he says, also in the headlines, Microsoft is lobbying to reopen 3 Mile Island, which is a nuclear power plant, folks, and guarantee to purchase 100% of its output for 10 years to run its artificial intelligence programs, servers, computer banks, etc. Mind-blowing, huh? Well, I'll tell you what. Number one, 0 people died because of 3 Mile Island. Is that a fact? Can anyone contradict me? Anyone? 3 Mile Island was a nuclear accident that no one died from, thankfully. But it was used to scare Americans and the world. Hey, this nuclear stuff is scary, folks. It used to scare the shit out of me a lot. A lot. But you know what? Because Kamala Harris and the Democrats, they think we can win a nuclear war. So why should I be afraid of nuclear power if it's okay to have nuclear wars? That's right, folks. They want nuclear war. They're thinking they can win it. So why should I be afraid of 3 Mile Island? Well, I tell you what. Nuclear power is the future. It's coming. It is going to be bigger than shit. And it is funny that one of the big concerns is, well, artificial intelligence is going to take an awful lot of power. So we better do everything we can to expedite nuclear power plants, construction, approval, etc. But for me and you, we need power for our cars and power for our homes. We need good food on our tables. We need safe cities. No, fuck us. But if Bill Gates wants it, if Microsoft needs it, we'll open scary nuclear power plants. I think it's been approved. I think the lobbying has also been approved, man. I could be wrong, but that is an interesting headline to bring up. It really is. So I'm gonna give you the counter interesting thing. You want to hear some interesting shit? I'll give you some interesting shit. Right? Ryan Ruth, the blue-haired fruitcake who probably makes a lot of money to cover what I'm about to discuss, working for cash at the Greyhound bus station in the men's room. He is supposedly a man with no money for child support. Well, he doesn't have money to pay that. But suddenly he can live in an expensive house in Hawaii. He can fly around the world from America to Taiwan, to Ukraine, to Turkey, to Poland, but he doesn't have any money. He can't pay child support, but he's got money for that. Mr. Ruth has 100 different criminal counts to his name, and none of them had to do with Trump and the election. He's got real crimes, and he's never served a day in jail. I just have some funny questions. I have some observations, right? These questions, folks, and many more make zero sense and point to, well, assassination handlers. How can internationally what this fucking guy has done, traveling around the world the way he has? How come the CIA doesn't know who he is? How come the FBI doesn't know who he is? Oh, wait, I'm sure they do. I'm sure that he has handlers and paymasters to make sure he has money to go around the world doing what he did, trying to get people to sign up, recruiting so they can go send themselves to Ukraine and get sent to the front lines and get killed by the Russians, right? All of this makes zero sense until you realize he has handlers and paymasters telling him what to do, where to go, et cetera, et cetera. I would like the CIA or the FBI to come on screen with us right now and explain themselves. I mean, hey, Governor DeSantis, he's kind of pointing to a FBI cover-up of this Mr. Ruth guy. Governor DeSantis came on the media and said, today, as of now, the FBI is refusing to cooperate with the state of Florida's investigation. They're refusing to cooperate. Why would they refuse to cooperate? The state of Florida, a sovereign state, doesn't have authority or jurisdiction to investigate a crime committed within the state of Florida. It did not happen on federal property. It did not happen in a Fort Arsenal dockyard, a base. Nothing, right? It is not federal property. So why won't the FBI cooperate? Why can't Florida conduct its own investigation? of, well, yeah, crimes that are being committed, probably with the assistance of the FBI. How very interesting is that? I think so. All right. Oh, man, I got some more for you. I know we're running out of time, but, man, who's next? Heidi says, did anyone see Giuliani speak in New York at the rally about coming for the people who are going after Trump in New York? I did not listen to the speech. I read some excerpts. And yes, Rudy Giuliani and Republicans better when they have authority as government operatives, when they have authority as elected officials, they need to do something with that authority to restore law and order, truth and justice. The Republicans have had control of Congress for the last 2 fucking years. Not the Senate, but the House of Representatives. Have they impeached anybody? No. No, they haven't. Between Kevin McCarthy and Maggot Mike Johnson, they have done nothing. In fact, Maggot Mike Johnson has now removed the SAFE Act from the government funding bill. That's right, this piece of shit so-called Republican who was supposedly MAGA Mike Johnson is actually Maggot Mike Johnson. Now, there is testimony from a woman. I believe it's a woman. Testimony from a woman who has claimed that while part of the sex slaves systems that are used to control politicians, she claimed that while she was being raped, this is out there in the media, folks. If you go look, you will find it. But you have to look and listen and find things. She claims that while she was being raped, and this is her story, not mine. While she was being raped, there was a boy next to her, bent over. And none other than Bernie Sanders was led down and told, you will rape him. Allegedly, that's what she saw. Where she's saying that allegedly Bernie Sanders was told he was going to do that or his family would be killed. That's pretty fucking weird. That's some harsh stuff. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's someone else's testimony that was brought out. Was it sworn under oath? I don't know. But it's out there on the internet. Am I spreading disinformation? No, I'm telling you what someone said. There are people who are witness to human trafficking. There are people who are witness to what the super rich and super powerful do to children and women. I mean, you can't say, John, you're full of shit. You're making this up. No, I'm not making it up. I'm telling you what someone else has testified about. They have spoken, testimony. If it wasn't real, what was Jeffrey Epstein all about? What was his little island all about? Why was he a convicted pedophile? What was all this stuff about pizza and hot dogs and Obama? And whoops, it all disappeared because the media covered it up. YouTube covered it up. Social media covered it up. Mark Zuckerberg covered it up. This stuff is real, and it's been complained about for years. But the powerful are covering it up. It's going on in Europe, too. Don't worry, it's come out in Europe, too. Big time, big shots. In fact, a big shot BBC man was just let out of court. No crime, no jail time. Why? Because, he's rich and powerful. What was his crime? He had on his phone, he purchased child porn. And you know what? They tried saying that the boy being raped was a sex worker. No, he was a minor being abused. That's how fucking sick these people are. Oh, by the way, Oprah Winfrey had Kamala Harris on her show. Who are Oprah Winfrey's friends? Bill Cosby. She likes Bill. Oprah likes P. Diddy. Oprah likes Harvey Weinstein. Yeah. Who's in jail for rape and other sex crimes? Well, that would be Weinstein and Bill Cosby. And P. Diddy is now in jail for said crimes that he has allegedly committed. And, the picture of LeBron James wearing a French-made outfit. apparently taken at one of P. Diddy's freakouts. Yeah, what a bunch of great people. Fuck, I tell you, folks, it ain't going to end pretty. It's not going to end pretty. It really isn't. Mr. Uman, where we want to roll next? Village Idiot steps up and says, what standard do we use to determine when our government has reached tyrannical? Oh, let's see. In my life, tyrannical government will be when they knock on my door and they say, John, we would like you to hand your weapons out of the bunker. And then if I were to do that, they would say, is that all? And I'd say, yeah, I'm trying to be a good citizen and give you all my guns. Then they'll take me out of the hole and put a bullet in the back of my head. Or if I'm lucky, they'll send me to a re-education camp to get my fucking mind right. That's tyrannical. And I know what that is before it comes. So I'll be prepared for that. That's tyrannical. Village Idiot, tyrannical is when the government refuses to obey the Constitution. Many would claim that we're already there. They're already there. Now, there is a line in the Declaration of Independence, and I read it not too long ago. Not too long ago, I read it. And it had to do with suffering on our part, the American people. They were colonists back then. We're supposed to be free people now, but it's here. And I want you to listen again to the way it's described. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shewn that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. In other words, Americans have become accustomed to suffering the evils of government. Well, I guess I should go to the next sentence then, shouldn't I? We're suffering under evil, tyranny, right now. Here's the next line. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, meaning abusing us and usurping and stealing our rights, pursuing invariably the same object, the object being evil, tyrannical behavior, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, creates a program to screw us utterly and terrorize, torture, and jail us. It is their right, the people's right, capital R. It is their duty, capital D. It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. In other words, at some point, the tyranny will be so great that someone's going to fight back. And then groups will fight back. And then states will fight back. And then the entire group of American states will say no more. And folks, it's going to be ugly. It will not be fast. It will not be quick. It will not be clean. It will be cruel. It will be insufferably bad. The appearance of evil will be everywhere. Justice will be sought and men will not find it. Evil has to be extinguished and the tree of liberty has to be watered once again with the blood of tyrants and saints. It's not going to be a good thing, folks. It's going to be a very nasty thing. But we all know, you and I, that the reason we're suffering this is because government has not accepted that it has a limited purpose, form, and authority, and that it has overstepped its bounds to the detriment of all and to the suffering of us, the little people. All right, enough of that. I'm going to step away from that. And I want to say this, that at the UNC, folks, University of North Carolina, pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian, pro-terrorist scumbags, I think of them as treasonous, anti-American criminals. They have now vandalized the ROTC building, right? That's for college military types, right? They replaced, they stole, they took the American flag down and put the Palestinian flag up. What I want to know is where were the ROTC recruit/candidates, especially the U.S. Army and U.S. Marine ROTC members? Where were they? Why didn't they get in there and kick the ever-loving fuck out of them? Were they restrained? Were they severely outnumbered? Were they threatened? Were they assaulted? I don't know. Were they in class actually learning something? Or were they at work earning money to pay or, right, pay their taxes? Where were they? Just know that this is not going to stop. I tell you what, folks, the veterans in Florida are waiting for them. We're waiting for them. Mr. Uman, who is next? We've got Chin Music. The fact that Tiny Shoulders Bald Beta Mayorkas. He's talking about the director of the Department of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas. He was a bald-headed little pin-headed fuckwad. But Chin Music says, the fact that Tiny Shoulders Bald Beta Mayorkas still has a job is the biggest insult to Americans I can think of. And Maggot Mike is complicit. Mayorkas is only doing as he has been instructed, Chin. But he is an absolute piece of shit. In charge of the Department of Homeland Security, he's leaving the border wide open. And this lying cocksucker, for that's what he is, in my opinion, this lying cocksucker Mayorkas has sat in front of Congress, in front of the media, and said, the border is secure. No, it is not. It hasn't been. Trump tried securing it with a border wall, but was told he cannot have it. It's too expensive. Did you know that the internet website for Barack Obama's Obamacare cost more than what was spent on the border wall by Trump? Did you know that? You or I could go to what the hell is the name of these companies that'll let you get your own website? Right? Name a website thing. For a couple $100, you can get a website. You get a webmaster to build it for you for $1,000 or $2,000. You're good. But the United States government spent more on the Obamacare website, which is a sack of shit, piece of shit, that is only in place to screw us, cost more. Anyways, yeah, the fact that he still has a job is evidence we need that the United States government is tyrannical, is out of control, is violating and neglecting its oaths, all of them. And by the way, speaking of oaths and authority, Dr. Jill Biden today joined President Biden in his first cabinet meeting, I think, in 11 fucking months. And he said, yeah, I'm tired, so I'm going to turn over the meeting to Jill Biden. So Jill Biden now is acting as president. She sat at the head of the table as if she were the president, as if she were elected. There's no provision in the Constitution for anyone other than the president to act as the president. And in his absence, the vice president, which would be camel toes, right? The first lady isn't even a member, an acting part of government, nor is the first lady or the spouse of the president mentioned in the Constitution. It's not like they're like, oh, okay, the spouse of the president is hereby imbued with these authorities. No, not even mentioned, because they're just the spouse. But they're trying to, it's just unbelievable where they're going with this. All right, folks, it is the Friday Free-for-All Sunday Night Live. Guess what? I'll be back here Sunday. I might be a little late. I might. I'll let everyone know. I'll let Uman know. But you'll get the notice. You'll get the notice, bam, which I do promptly at 5:25 every Sunday so that we can all be ready at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the zoo. Meet me at the zoo, folks. A lot of crazy shit is going to happen this weekend. And, well, that's right. There it is. The transcripts reveal Trump, in fact, ordered National Guard General Milli Vanilli, Lipstick Milli Vanilli, confirms that Trump urged Pentagon officials to deploy the Guard, and they didn't. The Secret Service has now arrested an individual for scaling the White House fence. The suspect was transported to the hospital. Wait a minute. Walls and fences are racist. Why do we need a wall and a fence? I'm sure that was just a migrant who needed help, and we should open the White House and allow all of them to live there with Joe Biden. Crazy. And Trump was asked by the government of Springfield, Ohio, not to come because they don't have the resources there to deal with Trump and his entourage. Well, wait a minute. I don't think Trump asked them for any fucking thing. I think Trump said he's just going to go there and take a look around. It'll be a great campaign stop. It'll be a great photo op. It'll be a great way to point out what a piece of shit Kamala Harris is. The little trashy hoe. And she is. She is a piece of trash, in my opinion. Even Oprah, folks. Oprah, I did not listen to what Kamala was saying to Oprah in the Oprah interview. I just wanted to ignore the sound and watch the facial expressions of Oprah, who looked away like, who is this stupid bitch? The look on her face was not supportive. Anyways, Trump should go there. He can go there. Who the fuck is the bullshit mayor who is being now accused of profiting off of bringing illegals there and also profiting for renting properties to them? Yeah, let's see. Government scumbags in a position of authority making money off the power of their office. Sounds familiar? I don't know. Maybe we should go ask maybe we should go ask Nancy Pelosi how to make money once you're in office. Anyways. All right. Mr. Uman, it's Friday Night Live. It's the Friday free for all. Let's do it. Let's do a couple more little quickies if we got them. I'll just read them off. Badass Diving Frog says these people have been fighting for 5,000 years. He's talking about Arabs and Jews. And they'll fight for 5,000 more. What do you expect when you nonstop at McAhmed's for a camel shit and chickpea wheat wrap? Isn't that a falafel, a camel shit falafel? Yeah, I don't like these people in the Middle East. Fuck them. You can't. Yeah, he's not telling a lie. These people have fought over sand in the desert for 5,000 years that we know of. Okay, Uman, next. Anyone else? Village Idiot. Did he or didn't he? Hey, look, Village Idiot. He didn't do nothing, man. He didn't do nothing. I think that's how I'm going to end it. I love you all. I'll see you Sunday Night Live, 6 p.m., maybe a few minutes late. I've got a Sunday afternoon training session, we're going to call it. Training session. But I should be back in time. You guys, like I said, chance favors the prepared mind. God bless you. Semper Fi. See you Sunday.